Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace, the game that teaches us that Kigo will never ever give up on trying to get you to join the drama club. Anyways, let's just hop right in. As soon as the twins walk out of the room, another pair gets up from their seats and walks up to us, having noticed Jun's arrival in the classroom. Kobayashi-kun, I'm so glad to see you're back. Are you doing well now? You must have been really sick to take an entire week's absence. That's fine. I'm doing much better now. Thank you very much. Are you sure? You still look a little bit tired. You have bags under your eyes and all. And it's gotta be really bad since I can tell, even with the spot you have around one of your eyes. I do? Yeah, have you been sleeping well at all? It's kind of a mixed bag. Wow, I'm surprised to see you looking so worried, Nekonishi. You barely even talk to most of the boys in class. Jun-kun is different, though. He is? How come? By the way, I took the liberty of making copies of my notes this past week to pass them along to you whenever you came back to school. It's not much, but this should help you catch up on the subjects you missed. Whoa, that's going to be a big help. Thanks, Ayako-san. Hiya. Right? If you want, I have some melatonin I take sometimes when I'm having trouble sleeping. I don't have it with me, but I can bring you some tomorrow if you'd like. It might help you with those bags under your eyes. Is that stuff safe to take? Sure, it's just sleep hormones, over-the-counter stuff and all that. Just don't take it too often. Take it for a few days, and once your sleep schedule starts getting back to normal, wean off of it again. It goes down well with a glass of warm milk. Oh, that actually sounds really good. I'll accept it if you're really offering. Gotcha. I'll make sure to bring some tomorrow. Geez, I'm not used to seeing her being so nice all of a sudden. I'm not used to seeing her being all nice like that to other people. Is this a dream? Am I imagining things? Oh, hey, Jun-kun. Whoop. Looks like there are more people wanting to talk to you. Come on, Kyo-chan. Let's give them a chance to talk to him without crowding the poor boy too much. Yeah, that's fair. He just got back from being sick and all that. I'll bring you the thing tomorrow, okay? I'll talk to you later, Kobayashi-kun. Feel free to come to me if you have any questions on the material. Alright, thank you so much. No sooner do the two girls walk away that another pair walks up to Jun, equally as happy to see him. I swear, it's like an endless parade. What the hell is going on? Jun-kun, I'm so happy to see you back. I was getting really worried by the lack of updates. It's been really boring without having you around. You and I talk about games almost every day. What do you mean it's been boring? Kumagawa shrugs, lowering his console to raise an eyebrow at me. It's not really the same. Kobayashi knows a lot more games than you do. Wow, I'm not sure if I should feel offended by that or not. Are you doing alright? Do you have a fever? You're not still sick, are you? Relax, I'm fine. You don't have to worry so much about me. Hiya. But the last time you ended up having to go to the hospital, and this time you were gone for a week. It's not like I hit my head again, you know. I stayed at home resting. I guess that's a little bit better. You're way too fussy. What? That's simply not true. What have you two been up to this past week? I've been looking around town for a yukata. I even got Keisuke-san to help me in everything. A yukata? Yeah, for the festival. Festival? Yeah, I started playing this new game called Move Do Revenge of the Shadow Kitties. Wanna see? Ooh, that name sounds really interesting. Show me! Show me! Hey, I was in the middle of a sentence! Those two immediately get lost in their own little world, completely zoning out the presence of the fox who huffs and pouts where he stands. Over the next few minutes, a lot more students start gathering around the back of the class, all of them wanting to get a few words with Jun. Wishing him well, telling them they're happy to see him again, that sort of thing. Geez, when did he get so popular? I wind up getting up from my desk and walking away, if only because the sudden crowd forming around is feeling a bit too claustrophobic for my tastes. You couldn't bring yourself to stick around? I walk to the front of the class, stopping near the class rep's desk. She looks up from her book with a contented smile, wagging a finger in the air along with her words. Yeah, it got to be a little too much. I didn't know so many people wanted to talk to Jun. Really? Haven't you noticed before? Noticed what? That Kobayashi-kun has become a sort of unofficial class mascot? He's well liked by most of the class. Really? You're right, I hadn't noticed that. Ayako-san giggles, covering her mouth with a crooked index finger. I guess you don't pay enough attention to notice. He started pretty slowly, but it's almost like once he'd managed to settle into your group, He started interacting with more people little by little through you. Now he's loved by nearly everyone. Damn, you go, June. Now that I think about it, I guess June really is the kind of guy that I'd picture being surrounded by lots of friends. He's likable, cute, bubbly, energetic. He really is the type to be popular after all. I guess we're very different in that regard. We might just be very lucky to have June walking around as a permanent member of our group. If I'm not careful, he might just end up being poached by someone else. I sneak a quick glance at the door once I hear the sound of it opening, drawn away by my curiosity, especially now that I don't have my notes to focus on and keep me rooted. I see Shoichi's head peering inside, looking around the room for a second before his eyes settle on me. Shoichi smiles awkwardly, raising a hand in the air to greet me. I repeat the same gesture, letting him know that I've noticed him. I have to go. Shoichi wants to talk to me for a bit. Alright, try not to be late to class. I'm just going to the hall outside. There's no way I'll be late. Class rep chuckles, raising an eyebrow and quirking the right corner of her mouth up. You say that, but you've also got a history of skipping things at the drop of a hat. Yeah, I guess that fame is going to follow me around for a while still, huh? When I step out of the classroom, I see Shoichi leaning against a wall, waiting for me. Due to the time, the hallway is already mostly deserted, with the majority of students having headed to their individual classrooms now that the bell is so close to ringing. Hey there. Hey, you said you wanted to talk to me? Right. Shoichi muses for a few seconds, a low humming noise echoing from his throat. Smacking his lips, he looks straight at me, his expression quickly changing to a dejected sigh. Well, this is kind of a delicate issue, or more like a difficult one. Now might not be the best timing considering what happened the last time we talked. He raises a hand to his cheek, scratching it awkwardly and looking away from me, letting those words hang in the air for a while. I wanted your opinion on how I should formally announce my quitting the volleyball team. What? I'm caught completely by surprise by the sudden broaching of the subject. I knew this was something Shoichi had been thinking about. He even mentioned it briefly before. But now, of all times, last week he was so adamant about postponing the announcement until he could try convincing his dad again. Come on, why this all of a sudden? Weren't you going to try convincing Takahiko-san? I already tried. You did? Volleyball isn't a good extracurricular for a resume. If I have time to do that, then I should look for something more productive. Those were his words. Are you serious? Takahiko-san, you're being far too cruel. You know, I didn't mean to be overly harsh about this stuff, but I'm really starting to not like your father. He does have his good points. He really did consider it, he just... Either way, I have my answer. Now I need to think of a way to tell the team. I'm not looking forward to it, so I was kinda hoping you could help. There's got to be another way. It's something else you can do. You don't think I've already tried thinking of one? I'm just saying, maybe try one more time? Get more things that could help you convince him? Maybe if you look up how athletic scholarships improve chances of getting in, that could be a big help. Somehow I doubt that. What's the harm in trying? I can't keep taking that, you. You know I really want to. I don't want to stop, but I can only handle so much disappointment before it becomes too much. I know it's hard, but come on, Shoichi. You gotta keep fighting for what you love. Fighting is tiring you. I know that, but you still have options, right? Did you try talking a little more to your dad about the scout? You should really insist about how good of a thing it is to get an offer from a team like that. Hiya. How can you even ask me that when you know how he reacted the first time he heard about the scout? You know he blew up about it. I told you that. Don't ask me about that. I know, but I still think you should insist. It's such an amazing opportunity. Hell, I think you should go for it regardless of what he thinks. You're an adult, you can afford to make your own decisions. I doubt that would work anyway. Dad has been in a really bad mood lately due to problems at work, and he already has nothing but disdain for scouting offers in general. There's no point in me even trying. Are you going to ignore everything I said? I'm not. You are. It's like you're not looking for a solution. You don't want to do anything about it. You just want to complain about something without being told about the dozens of possibilities you still have. That's easy for you to say. You have nothing but tennis on your mind. You just impulsively do whatever you feel like without thinking of any consequences. Besides, you have a family that supports you. I'm sure that must make things so hard for you, huh? That's not true at all. You know how much I've been struggling with tennis recently. It's been anything but easy. I know I'm in a better position than you, but that doesn't give you the right to lash out at me. What? I'm not... Shoichi bites his lower lip, shifting around uncomfortably on his feet, clutching his right elbow tightly. Sorry. It's alright. I know you're under a lot of pressure recently. That's what I'm here for, right? To help in any way I can. Thanks, I appreciate it. I promise I'll think about what you said. Yeah. That's all I ask for. You don't need to stand on ceremony around me. That's the second time you've said that today. That means it's doubly true. You're a dork. Perhaps. I really appreciate all you do for me, Yuichi. Thanks. It's my pleasure. That's so? Of course. Like hell, I'm just going to sit around and watch you mope. If I can do or say something, then I'm going to do so. That's fair. Just try to be a little more mindful of people before you do that. You can get a bit too caught up in your own head sometimes and involve yourself in things best left aside. Geez, what's that supposed to mean? Just some general life advice, nothing earth-shattering. You don't need to worry so much about it. Oh, hiya. If you say so. Either way, I should probably get going. I need to at least be in class before the bell rings. I might even have a few minutes to organize my notes before class starts. Haven't had that in a while. Sure, don't let me hold you. I'll talk to you later, you. Sure, at lunch. Yep. I watched Shoichi walk away and into his classroom, leaving me by myself in the hall. That actually went pretty well, all things considered. Thinking to myself about how nice it is to have things going smoothly for once, I walked back into my class while humming a random melody that just came to mind. An hour later, Shima-sensei has just arrived to our class as the first period of the day came to an end. He carries his usual stack of books to the table, dropping them haphazardly on it before turning to greet us. Good morning, class. I hope you all had a great weekend and are feeling refreshed so we can go at it again. Although before we begin, is Michimiya present? A few heads turn in my direction, but I quickly pipe up from my seat on the back. Yes, sir. Good. I just got word from Kitsuragi-san that she'd like to speak to you. She asked that I tell you to head to the faculty room after you're done eating during lunchtime. Huh? How come? Shima-sensei shakes his head sideways, shrugging. I'm afraid I don't know. She caught me as I was leaving my last classroom and told me something had come up. If it makes you feel any better, at least she seemed happy. Right, that's... Huh. I guess that rules out you being in trouble, huh? June whispers from the seat next to mine, leaning over in my direction with a raised eyebrow. That's not a guarantee of anything. For all I know, she's feeling gleeful to have a chance to rake me over the coals again. What, really? But she seems like such a nice lady. She's a sadistic monster. No one has ever yelled at me as much as she does. That's only because you're constantly pissing her off. Jin, the second biggest victim of Kitsuragi-sensei's lectures and the person who sits directly in front of June, turns back to look at me with a smug look on his face, the edges of his lips curved up. Mind your own business, mouse. Stop barking so loud then, dog. I know you all at the back think you're being really sneaky, but I can still hear whispering. Could you do us all a favor and be silent? The three of us immediately stiffen up on our seats, looking straight ahead as if jolted awake by that reprimand. The whole thing garners us a few chuckles from nearby classmates, though I don't really care about it. Very well, as we have finished our previous subjects of study last week, this week we are about to embark on a new journey, going through a bygone era and studying the remnants of a long-forgotten kingdom, left only as a picture in the annals of history. Right? Just thinking about it is enough to make me feel emotional. What is that supposed to mean? Neko Nishi speaks up from the front of the class, her voice a mix of confusion and annoyance. Yo, the little stream window that I have open. The little Twitch window froze. But no, I do agree. Katsuragi being happy is terrifying. It is no secret at this point that she's not the biggest fan of Shima-sensei, and seeing her reactions to him, it becomes downright obvious. Starting today, we'll be studying Babylonian mythology. Did any of you know just how fascinating it is? I certainly didn't at first, but once I started studying, I couldn't put the books down. I was thoroughly enraptured. I've read over 30 books on the subject already, and I am ready to enlighten you all as well. The entire class groans as we all likely come to the same horrible realization. Shima-sensei has just found another new thing to be passionate about. Somehow the odds of us staying on our actual syllabus seem to be getting smaller and smaller. And to start us off on this wonderful journey, there's nothing more fitting than the myth of creation itself. Today, I shall teach you all about Enuma Elish. I hate this. I hate this so much. A few hours later... Man, I thought he was going to go on and on about that forever. June flops on top of my table, sighing dramatically as soon as he brings his chair over like he usually does every time for lunch. All the other teachers in this school are really good, but that guy's still weird. He's good at teaching stuff. Why does he go off course like that so much? I'm surprised he hasn't gotten fired yet. What about students that actually need to learn the right subjects to prepare for entrance exams? He's always been like that. I'm not even surprised. Although I thought for sure I'd seen the limits of where his obsessions with mythology could lead us. Honestly, finding a new one to obsess about seems so obvious in hindsight. I feel stupid for not anticipating something like this would happen sooner or later. He said that one myth about creation was supposed to be short, yet he spent 2 hours talking about the implications of it. I need a break. Good thing it's lunchtime now then. Good thing I packed Kurage with me today. I need some comfort food. You pack Kurage with you more often than not, though. Shoichi and Saya show up right at the usual time, raising their hands to greet us with a smile. Osu! Morning! Oh, Jun-kun, I was wondering when you'd be back. Yeah, I was away for a little bit longer than I was expecting. At least you seem to be doing well. Saya and Shoichi get to work on organizing our tables, quickly preparing the usual arrangement so the 4 of us can sit for lunch together. Man, yesterday was so fun! It sure was. It was nice to go out together as a group again. I know we did it not too long ago, but it still felt like a long time. Remind me never to let Urushihara pick what movie we watch again. He has such a girlish taste in movies. I think I might have to agree with you here. A sappy romance drama wasn't what I was expecting us to watch. Well, wait, what was wrong with that movie? I really liked it. Sorry, Jun, it's just not really up to our tastes is all. Keisuke-san will probably be upset if he heard this. I wonder if he's joining us today at all. I doubt it. He thinks it's improper for him to come to an upperclassman's classroom every day to have lunch. We did tell him last Friday to stop doing that, but he kept pushing back on it. I even tried inviting him over directly today. What did he say? We'll see. Oh. That sounds about what I'd expect from Keikun. Urushihara's always been like this. It makes no sense. He acts like a huge stickler for silly, unofficial customs that no one cares about, yet he also does his best to ignore actual enforceable rules. Like his unbuttoned jacket or the purple shirt underneath. Both of those are against the dress code, you know. Maybe it has something to do with control? What do you mean? Like, didn't you guys say before that he's forced to do a lot of things he doesn't want to because of his family? Maybe he ignores smaller rules like that so he can feel more comfortable by having some level of control over something. Even if it's just his body and clothes. Never mind, Jun saying something smart is scary. Is even scarier than Kitsuragi-sensei being happy. Huh? Wait, what? That's... What? Did I say something strange? Are you really Kobayashi? Jun-kun, do you have a fever or something? Saya leans forward on her chair, reaching her hand to touch Jun's forehead in an attempt to check his temperature. What's with this all of a sudden? It's just... You don't usually say... you're not exactly the most... Since when are you that perceptive? I see what is going on here. You all think I'm too dumb to be able to say smart things like that. That's mean. I say smart things all the time. No. That's a bit... Sorry. Why does everyone always seem to think I'm stupid? We don't think you're stupid, just... Damn. Not the most attentive? Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what we meant. Yeah. It's nothing bad. You guys are horrible. Sorry. We didn't mean to make you upset. I'm sorry. There's no way I could have reacted differently. I'm not used to hearing this level of reflection and insight from Jun. It just does not compute in my mind at all. I'm sorry, Jun. I get the feeling we're still underestimating you even this far into our friendship. Hey, I just remembered. Do you guys have any plans for the Lunar Festival this year? Oh, right. The Lunar Festival is at the end of the month. Lunar Festival? What's that? Nice save, Saya-chan. The relief is very noticeable across our table as Jun's attention is easily whisked away by the shiny new topic that was brought to his attention. Jun definitely has ADHD. Like, he definitely has ADHD. Okay, he's, being all upset by that, and then Saya brings in a shiny new topic. He has ADHD. Yeah! Saitama holds a lunar festival every year sometime around June or July. Last year it happened halfway through June, so we thought it'd be the same this year. Turns out it's just going to be a few days before the end of the month. God, now that you mention it, it's really been a while since we've gone, huh? Yeah, we used to go all the time as children, too. What has it been, 5 years since the last time? I think that's about right. I didn't know there was something like that in town. Is it a new thing? I'm surprised you didn't know about it, Jun-kun. Didn't you say your family was from around here? Maybe we went once or twice when I was really, really little. I think I remember something like that, but I could be wrong. After I started getting serious about competing, I didn't really pay much attention to that sort of thing. I had very few hobbies outside of the piano. Oh! That's a shame. Yuichi and I actually talked a little bit about the possibility a while ago when I took him to that shopping districts festival. I forgot they still did those. Don't think it's smaller every year? Hiya. Yep, it's a good way for them to get extra movement after all. It was pretty fun. That's when you got me General Yamato II. Did you really name your fish that way? You never mentioned that. It's not all that bad. Is Yamato that emerald-colored fish you showed us back in April? Yep, the very same. You know, we should try getting together this year and going. Going where? To the festival, of course. Where else? Oh, right, yeah, I guess that could be fun. You guess it could be fun? Yeah, it'd be neat if we could all go as a group. Boo. You could stand to be a little more excited about it. Getting hyped up and ignoring reality isn't exactly a good practice to have. No, but I want to go. 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 All right, settle down. We can talk about it. Yay! Oh my... Oh my god. Ruth just looks so happy. Like, Shoichi just looks done. Don't go getting all giddy already. I said we can talk about it. Oh, I know. We should look at yukatas this year, too. Yeah, that sounds like so much fun. Are you two even listening to me? Give it up, Sho. You're outnumbered. Yeah, I guess it was stupid of me to think I could get through to these two when they're like this. A few minutes later, the conversation around the table continues at a breakneck pace, with everyone throwing ideas around for future plans. Shoichi and I are left playing nanny for the other two while they go wild with all the ideas floating around inside their heads. While I don't really want to go, as I continue staring at my now empty lunchbox, I sigh, knowing I can't postpone it any further. Sorry to interrupt the conversation, guys, but I'm going to need to dip for a while. How come? Did something happen? Oh, right, you were asked to head to the faculty room after you were done eating, weren't you? Yeah. Oh no, what did you do this time? Why do you immediately assume it was because of something bad I did? Right, sorry, I jumped to conclusions there. Try not to piss off the teachers too much, okay? Seriously, stop assuming I'm going to get myself in trouble. And stop grinning like that. Nope. Ugh, whatever, I'm going now. If I'm not back before the bell rings, then I'll see you guys later. Talk to you later. Good luck. I knock on the door to the faculty office, opening it and peering inside. A few faces turn my way, definitely way more than I'm used to seeing in here. Then again, I usually only get called here after class when a lot of the teachers aren't around. I'm so surprised so many are in here working instead of eating right now. Michimiya-kun, please come in. Sit. Kitsuragi-sensei, the one that had called me in here, beckoned me over as soon as she noticed me. Weirdly enough, she's smiling. This is terrifying. Can you, stop smiling, please? Holy crap, I'm not used to seeing her smiling. She's usually always so stern and harsh when she's talking to me. I'm not kidding, this is low-key terrifying right now. I do as I'm told, hesitantly taking a seat in front of her desk. Kitsuragi-sensei fiddles around with a few papers for a second, clearing up space so she can look at me properly. First of all, you really don't need to look at me like that. Like what? That. She points at my face, the corners of my mouth and my cheeks twitching as I try my best to smile. Kitsuragi-sensei just, steps up and is like, no. And just, steals our soul. Congratulations, we don't have a soul anymore. You're not in any trouble, you can relax. I'm not! Thank God! In fact, I called you here for very much the opposite reason. What do you mean? Do you remember how I called you over back during our first day of class to discuss your academic performance? I recall something like that. Kitsuragi-sensei shakes her head, placing a hand on her chin and scratching it with her index finger. Well, to be totally honest, I had pretty much given up on you already. Hey, yo! Seriously? Yes, what were you expecting? I've had multiple discussions with you over the years about your lack of effort, not paying attention in class, declining grades. None of them ever amounted to anything. I guess that's true, but is that something a teacher is supposed to be saying to a student? However, I must apologize for that. I was clearly wrong about you. You were? Yes, over the past month or so, I've been getting reports from teachers about your increased participation in class, with the most dramatic increase happening 2 weeks ago. I was stunned. Oh, I guess that's true. I have been feeling a bit more motivated lately, especially since I started dating Shoichi. Although a lot of that was due to me being spiteful and wanting to prove to him that I can be a good student. Your grades have actually gone up as well. While you've been showing a clear decline of around 2 or 3 points in every midterm since your first year, this is the first time they have actually gone up. It's true that I've been studying a little bit more lately. Kitsuragi-sensei nods, smiling once again. The smile on her face is kind, warm and genuine. Makes me feel butterflies on my stomach for a second. I'd never seen her looking so gentle. It made me very happy to see that development, and it wasn't just in 1 or 2 subjects either. There was marked improvement across the board. Since your grades when you first joined were so high, you hadn't exactly come at the risk of flunking thus far, but at the rate you were going, it really did seem like you would fall below passing grade before the end of the year. Really? Yes, here, during your first midterm exams as a freshman, your average grades on all subjects put together was a 94 back then. Then on every subsequent midterm, they slowly went down. 91, 89, 87, 84, all the way down to 81 on your last midterm as a junior. I don't like where this is going. At the rate you were going, I fully expected you to score around an average of 78 points this midterm. For all of your junior year, your grades were painfully average for someone of your potential. What? But I qualified for the advanced classes and everything this year. That was our intent. That was our attempt of incentivizing your studies. It wasn't based on your current achievements. It was your potential we were looking at. But I even score in the top 30 every year. Only because with expectation to the 20 or so students already in advanced class. The rest of the school is mostly content with having the bare minimum passing grade. After all, 80 out of 100 is already high enough for most. Well, yeah, but even I didn't see a point in trying to score more than that. 80 out of 100 is already a stupidly high grade. It's this school that's way too strict with our minimum passing grade. I'm sure you already know this, but in most cases, students only try to keep the minimum grade necessary to pass at all times. Most of the time, if a student is capable of passing the entrance exam, they are nearly guaranteed to graduate. Yeah, I guess the entrance exam was the hardest one I've taken in my time here. Kitsuragi-sensei nods, pressing her lips tightly together. Yet, despite me thinking you're about to start seriously struggling this year, not only has your attitude in classes changed tremendously as of late, your average score on this midterm has gone all the way up to 90 points rounded down. That's an increase of 9 whole points since your last midterm. Oh, wow. I didn't know there was such a big difference. As it stands right now, you're almost all the way back up to your original grades when you first joined this school, back when you could easily place in the school's top 10. Damn. I didn't realize any of that. I guess it's true that even before coming to this school, I'd grown so unmotivated that didn't bother to check my averages. So long as I was passing, it was good enough for me. Things were apparently about to get bad for me, and I didn't even notice that because I didn't care enough to. Just thinking about that is scary. I guess I've had some more incentive lately, or at least didn't feel as unmotivated. Which is great! Whatever it was that has caused this change will hopefully continue driving you from this point on. Yeah. Oh god, this is really not a good time for me to be hearing this. With that said, this wasn't the main reason I called you over. It wasn't. There's still more to this. What else could she possibly have to say? We have received word from a university in the Americas that wished to scout you for their tennis program. They'd apparently tried contacting you directly, but as you never responded, they decided to reach out to the school instead. Wait, huh? What do you... Of course, we've already followed through with checking their credentials. It's an institution based off of Vancouver, Canada. The school is very prestigious in the country and has recently made a push to scout prominent athletes from all over the world. Your tennis program has apparently become quite competitive over the past 5 years, and they've been investing a lot in infrastructure, coaching, development. All of these are certain to be quite beneficial to someone like yourself. That's a lot of information all of a sudden. It's not like I haven't gotten endorsement or sponsorship offers before, but I don't remember anyone ever reaching out to me to try and scout me to their school. I'm sorry, but I don't have any plans to attend college. I plan on going pro immediately. Yes, I'm aware of that. However, I believe it might still be in your best interest to think of their offer carefully. The school is interested enough interested enough in you to give you a full scholarship along with access to the best coaches in their institution, all already paid for. They are? Yes! They've also shown a willingness to give you flexibility around your schoolwork so you can pursue your professional debut alongside your own studies. Not to mention giving you guaranteed entrance, no need to take any kind of exam. Is that considered a generous offer? It sounds like it is. Kitsuragi-sensei looks me right in the eye, her face neutral and serious for the first time in the conversation. It is an impossibly generous offer, the kind most could not even think of receiving. The amount of concessions they are willing to make to have your name among their roster is staggering. The infrastructure is also good enough to put most professional tennis training facilities to shame, according to your coach. I don't even know what to say. How generous are we talking about? Would you like me to run you through the numbers? I nod hesitantly, swallowing loud and unsure of how to process all this information. The first thing you must know is that international students such as yourself fall into a different price bracket than domestic students. International students tend to pay much higher costs as their studies are not subsidized by taxes. Right? In that case, the basic cost of tuition, student fees, and the basic textbooks and materials comes out to around 33,000 American dollars. That is equivalent of 3.5 million yen. What? For the entire duration of college, you mean? She smirks, almost seeming pleased to hear that question being asked. Kitsuragi-sensei pulls out a piece of paper from her desk and quickly goes over it, reading out a few more numbers aloud. Sadly, no. That is just the yearly cost for tuition and aggregated fees. There is also the matter of living costs, student housing on campus, meal plans from the college cafeteria, health insurance. I'm guessing these don't come cheap, do they? They do not. They go for an average of 11,000 American dollars a year. Converted to yen, that is around 1.2 million. Altogether, these costs are incredibly substantial. And there are also fees for accessing their training facilities, getting help from coaches, trainers, physicians. All in all, you'd be looking at a cost of nearly 6 million yen a year. I choke, unable to handle the ridiculously high number that is being quoted to me. It feels as if my eyes could pop out of their sockets any time now. All of which being offered in full alongside your scholarship. Tuition, living costs, access to training facilities and staff, relevant fees. All of these are being covered to you for free. I have a hard time believing what I'm hearing. That sounds far too good to be true. That is way too much money being offered to me essentially for free. I have trouble even running the math in my head to figure out how much that comes out to with the entirety of a degree put together. And are they offering me a 3-year program? A 4-year one? 5? 6? Depending on the answer, it just goes higher and higher. My head hurts. That's understandable. There is a lot of information here to digest. The institution really did their best to put together an unbeatable offer to try and entice you into joining them, to the point where it is clearly foolish to even think about refusing. Yeah. Kitsuragi-sensei smiles, lifting her hand to her chin and attempting to hide a quiet snort. Yet, I'm pretty sure you're thinking of refusing it. I don't know. I never thought of going to college before. It was never something that was in my plans. I just wanted to go pro as soon as possible because I thought college would be a waste of time I could spend practicing. She nods, slowly and patiently dealing with all my questions, concerns, and refusals with a degree of calmness that I'm not used to seeing from her. Maybe that could be true, but as you refuse to be tied down to sponsors, you effectively have zero capital to work unless you get prize money. That means you wouldn't have guaranteed funds to pay for your living expenses, rent, food, travel to and from competitions. Not to mention no access to training facilities, coaches, doctors. All of these are things a professional athlete needs to thrive. Am I wrong? No, ma'am. The school is offering to handle all of that for you, and you wouldn't need to wear their logo on your clothes and make pitches for them. All you'd need is to be enrolled in their institution and graduate from it. That sounds incredibly generous, yeah. It's stupidly generous, actually. I have no idea how they could even make an offer like this to someone. It sounds way too good. Is this even real? Is this some kind of bad joke? Michimiya-kun, I say this both as your counselor as well as my personal opinion. I strongly recommend that you think about this offer. It is far too good for you to waste it away on pride alone. Now, at least take some time to reflect on it. I believe this kind of environment is exactly what you need to flourish again after struggling for so long. It might do you a lot of good. What kind of program are they looking to get me into? Oh, right. I forgot to tell you that much. You are being invited to join their sports science program. It is a 4-year-long program and would give you a lot of knowledge you might find valuable in preparing your training regimens, working on your mental health, etc. I nod, trying to conjure up any and all memory I have of having heard of this kind of degree before. I think Sai mentioned something about Morisaki-senpai getting a degree like that in his own university. I'm pretty sure that was it. Either way, you've been given until the end of the school year to give them an answer. Please, Michimiya-kun, seriously consider this. It's alright, you don't need to form an opinion now. You have time to think about it. Clear your head first. Look into it when you're feeling less overwhelmed. Thank you. Is there anything else you need from me? No, this was all I wanted to discuss with you. You're free to leave. Thank you, Sensei. Really. She nods, giving me a quick smile before turning her attention back to her computer and the stacks of paper kept on her desk. She's probably far too busy to give me much attention once our matters were finished. Part of me can't help but feel a bit hurt that she was done with me so quickly, but it's not like I wanted to stick around here either. I guess I feel a little bit conflicted. I make my way out of the secondary building, my eyes glued to the floor the entire time. Don't even know how to begin to consider the offer that I was given. I know nothing about checking out universities or anything of the sorts. My initial plans were to graduate and move to the United States to establish a sort of home base there. Sai and I already knew we'd have family support for at least the first year. Enough to rent an apartment for us to share, paid for food and utilities, and get access to a basic local gym and court so we could train. We knew from the get-go that this sort of thing would be risky, but the two of us agreed 2 years after we'd heard that Morisaki-senpai would be attending college at the same time as he maintains his professional career that we thought it was a waste of time. And yet when I look at the progress Morisaki-senpai has managed to achieve in only 2 years, I can't completely reject the notion either. It's clear he must have had an incredibly nurturing and competitive environment to have developed that much in so little time. What if the university in Canada is the same? Could it possibly be a good idea after all? There's just so much that I don't know. I hate not knowing what to do. Obviously, Haya. I should probably ask Shoichi about it. He'd probably know what to do. Hell, I already know he'll be insisting that I accept it. He's been hounding me for years about how he shouldn't forsake a college degree just because I want to go pro. This would be the perfect opportunity for him to double down on all of that. Which probably means I shouldn't tell him. Then again, would it be fair to be hiding a secret like that from my boyfriend? No. Even if I think dealing with his pushiness would be annoying, I can't justify lying to him or hiding things from him. Shoichi might be one of the pushiest people I know, and might still make me uncomfortable at times with how fast he wants to take things. But he's still my boyfriend. I need to be honest with him about I'll give myself some time to digest the information first. Yeah, that should be a good compromise. While I'm making my way out and walking through the school's entrance courtyard, I see a familiar shape sitting alone on a bench underneath a tree's shade. The wolf is leaning back on his seat, fiddling around with his phone. I consider for a few seconds whether I should approach him. He hasn't noticed me at all yet. I guess it can't hurt to talk to him. He's fun to talk to at times. Like a barely appeased rabid dog. Maybe it's the adrenaline of not knowing when he'll try to maul me to death or that I find fun. Now I'm giving him too little credit here. Maybe. Hello there. The wolf glances up from his phone for only a second, his expression not shifting even in the slightest. Shouldn't you be with your boyfriend right now? I was called to the faculty office. It's not really important. What about you? How come you're not with your saber cat friend? The wolf blinks a few times, shifting on his seat, scowling unhappily. What? You think we're glued at the hip or something? Ouch. I was just trying to make conversation. He sighs, slowly shaking his head sideways and stuffing his phone back into his pocket. I can't have people around me all the time. I need to be alone every now and again. I don't like feeling crowded. Oh, should I leave you alone then? You're fine. Stop being such a stupid worrywart. I like you because you have a sharp tongue and you don't take my shit lying down. If you're going to be acting all mushy and weird, then I don't know that I want to talk to you. Do you always have to be such a dickhead when we talk? You can't say something nice once in your life? There we go. That's better. Uh-huh? He's smiling now? How come? Wait, was he baiting me into snapping back at him? What the hell? This dude is so weird. I guess if you wanted to be alone, that explains why you're all the way outside. It's nice here. Plus, now I know that every time I try to go to the rooftop, there's a chance you'll be there. You really don't sound like you want to talk to me. You even came here on purpose to avoid me. Yes, I did want to avoid people when I came down here. I'm fine now, though. Stop being such a nag. You're not a chick. I swear to God. One day I'm going to smack this guy so hard he'll pass out. Plus, I wanted to eat in peace. He reaches behind him and grabs a clear, disposable lunchbox. The kind that you buy in convenience stores. Convenience store lunches, huh? Fancy. The wolf shrugs, tossing the container on the seat next to him once again. It gets the job done, plus I didn't feel like cooking. Can you even cook? I have a little brother, an alcoholic father, and a lazy mother. What do you think? God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to... Haruki leans back on his seat, scratching his neck with the same bored look he always seems to have, even yawning a little. You did nothing. Stop being oversensitive. Congrats on that, I guess. Not like it's a big deal either. I think I remember Shoichi mentioning at some point that Haruki's father was arrested for being physically abusive. I don't really remember the details, but I guess a lot of things make sense when I think about it like that. At least you take care of your little brother really well, right? I try. Brad is as ungrateful as all hell, though. Still love him, though, I guess. You guess? But you didn't come here just for small talk, did you? You wouldn't have bothered me just for that. Oh, I guess I just saw you and thought, hey, there's Haruki. I should say hi. The wolf stares at me blankly, his yellow eyes nearly glowing under the shade, cold and piercing, examining me like a predator looking at prey. That's probably the dumbest thing I've heard all day, but at least you don't seem like you're lying. How would you even be able to tell? You deal with liars a whole lot, and you get used to noticing. I'm pretty good at telling when someone's lying to me. Their face and body says a lot. You are super easy to read too. God damn it, does everyone have to tell me I'm super easy to read? Not a friggin' book. Stop trying to read me. How's the blue dog anyway? Yuji having a jolly good time? He snorts as if he found his own joke incredibly funny. I want to feel uncomfortable at him asking me about this again, but all I can focus on is the fact that Shoichi was apparently upgraded from the gay dog to the blue dog. What the hell just happened? Ah. Ah. Na 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 na. Okay, is it like do 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 do. La 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 la. Dun dun wow 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 na na na. Da 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 da. Bingo! Bluey! I fucking love watching Bluey sometimes. Progress? Why does that stuff even interest you so much? Haruki stares blankly for a few seconds, his eyes darting left and right and scanning my face. After several minutes of silence, he finally breaks eye contact by shrugging. I don't know. Maybe since I had a part in getting you two together, I might be interested in knowing how it's going. That's not a valid reason. Could it be you just like to gossip? Hell no, fuck off with that shit. I don't need to know anything else about you two. Just want to know about the dog. But why? Dude, you're so strange. Seriously. Ugh, he's just going to keep hounding me for an answer until I give him something. This isn't even the first time this has happened, so I already know how it'd go. This guy can be so annoying and insistent when he wants to be, like a dog with a bone. Which I'm sure he'd lunge on me if I ever said that to his face. It's fine. Never better. Does that answer your question? Haruki raises an eyebrow, staring at me with renewed interest. Oh, fine isn't usually the way you talk about things when they are really fine. You don't just mean crappy. Why do people always insist in answering me with this sort of thing whenever I say things are fine? Might as well discontinue the word at this point, since it never seems to work how I want it to. Things haven't been crappy, they've just been fine. Yeah, believe it or not, I have ears. I got that much on the first time. Then why are you still asking? Oh god. Oh god, I need to make that. I'm going to make that tonight. I need to make that tonight. Oh my god. Because when you say fine, what I hear is that definitely amuses me. Look, there are rough patches here and there, but that's something all relationships deal with. It's not a big deal. Oh no, are you telling me you two aren't the perfect couple whose entire life is a pure, perfect perfection? Shocking! Pure, perfect perfection? Give me a break, I didn't have enough time to think of something to compare to. And yet you went with pure, perfect perfection? Could we please ignore that and go back to the important stuff? No, this seems like a perfect way to piss you off and to keep you distracted from trying to gossip more about Shoichi and me. What else is going on with you two, though? You guys fucked yet? Let me just add that to the list of accidental sex noises. Okay, Haruki, I have an answer for you. I have an answer for you. You ready? You ready for my answer, Haruki? The answer is Nunya. Nunya business, ha! Ha ha! Got him. Ha. Why am I being asked this question by him again? Didn't you already ask me this once before? Yes, but you said you two hadn't yet. Now there's a chance you might have since it's been a while. Spill. No, I will not spill. This isn't any of your business. This is way beyond what might be your business. He blinks a few times, his eyebrows laying flat atop his head. The edge of Haruki's lip twitches a little, making a fang visible for only just a second. Oh, is this a way of telling me you're too embarrassed to say yes? So what? What does it matter to you that we have? You don't need to be asking me about this stuff. The wolf stares blankly at me, all traces of humor having completely disappeared from his expression. That's when I realized that while I was trying to get him to stop asking me, I accidentally revealed a piece of information that I hadn't meant to. No, I didn't mean... Was he a good fuck? What? My eyes go so wide that they start to hurt a little bit, my face turning redder than it ever has in recent memory. His eyes are completely neutral, no hint of a joking tone or expression. You heard me. Is he good in bed? No way I'm answering that. Why the hell do you want me to know? Why the hell do you want to know that? Why are you so interested in our fucking sex life? Stop being a weirdo. His eyes go wide, his mouth hanging ever so slightly open, staring at me with disbelief. He looks down and away from me, biting his lip. Without another word, he gets up from his seat, grabbing his empty, dirty lunchbox and carrying it with him. I'm heading out now. What? Why? What's this all of a sudden? No, what? You only wanted to talk to me until you can get some information and then that's it? Are you kidding me? What's going on here? Doesn't matter. He walks past me, bumping against my shoulder, showing no sign of stopping or caring about it. Why are you in a bad mood all of a sudden? Hey, Haruki-kun, answer me. For fuck's sake, you're way too needy. I have better things to do with my day than playing around with your fag ass. Go kiss your boyfriend or whatever and stop bugging me. I told you I wanted to be alone. I watch him walk away from me, stomping the ground as he does so. I'm left far too stunned to even react to it at all. This was way too weird. What the hell just happened just now? The curiosity itself was already a bit strange from the get-go, but now the sudden mood swing? Did I do something? He's never behaved like this before. While I'm standing around and trying to understand just what the fuck has happened, the bell rings, snapping my attention back to the real world. Shit! I have to rush back to the main building, needing to get back to class as soon as possible since the teacher that has the next period is super annoying about this kind of thing. A few hours later, with the end of our classes for the day, students begin moving out in droves, heading out to their clubs, homes, or to hang out with their friends after class. I finish organizing all my things before I can head out, making sure to check my tennis bag one last time to see if everything is in order before I leave. I feel so completely lost with most of what's been explained in class today. June sighs and whines pitifully, sprawled over his desk. You were out for a full week. I guess that much is to be expected. You think you're going to be alright? Yeah, I'm glad Ayako-san gave me all those in-depth notes so I can study from them. She even made footnotes and simplified explanations to help me understand. That's good. It's no secret she's the best note-taker in class. People usually always go to her to ask for copies of her notes for that reason alone. But of course, given her personality, that usually comes accompanied with having to survive her teasing them for needing it in the first place. I remember asking her for it for the first time last year and how she gave me that whole foo-foo-foo laugh and then sort of prodding and poking me with uncomfortable questions just to get a bit of amusement out of my expense. She's a great person, but her sense of humor can grind my gears sometimes, so I made sure never to ask her for anything like that afterwards. I think her only weakness is the history subject, although that might just be because she can't adapt to the kind of history that is taught by Shima-sensei. That was for sure a really nice thing for her to do. She doesn't usually let people have her notes without making fun of them for a bit first. Huh? Really? She's never made fun of me like that before. I know. That just makes me bitter over the whole unequal treatment. Are you heading to practice today, Yuichi-san? Yeah, the next competition is going to happen soon, so I can't afford to slack off now. I see. Good luck with practice, then. Why are you looking so down? Aren't you going to head to the music room to practice yourself? I thought you'd be hyped about that. My parents forbade me from it. What? How come? They said I needed to focus on resting this week and all. They think I don't listen to my body when it tries to give me warning signs. Yuichi-san? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you expecting me to disagree with them over that or something? I'm actually on board with this. What? That's so mean! But I want to practice! And it's exactly this attitude of yours that made them forbid you from it. Throwing a tantrum doesn't help your case any either. You were out of commission for a full week. Maybe it's not the worst thing to keep resting to give your body time to recover. You were dealing with a ton of fatigue. You're still not looking 100% either. But I need to practice. I feel fine. That's a little hard to believe, especially when you don't even look me in the eye when saying that. I place a hand on top of June's head, gently running my fingers through his fur and trying to be as reassuring as I can. Give yourself a break for a bit. You'll just make people worry about you otherwise. Okay. Wow, that worked. That was easier than I thought. I'm heading out now. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow too. A few minutes later. I am so excited for June's route. I am so excited to do June's route. Walking inside the building, I can't help but feeling a certain sense of enthusiasm washing over me. It's nice to have some of my old sense of enthusiasm back. I truly thought that it might never return. For someone like me who's loved tennis so dearly and for so long, the feeling that I was only going through the motions with it is really scary. Since I got here early, most of the students that are already here have either just finished getting changed and are stretching and warming up, or they're still in the locker room. I definitely don't want to linger around the lockers to chat with people, because then I'd be exposed to way more half-naked guys than I'd like to see, now more than ever. God, is that going to be a new concern for me now? Worrying that I might out myself in the locker room? You better make sure to always stay down in the locker room, mister. Hey there, Yuichi-kun. Saya walks out of the female's locker room, looking around for a bit before spotting me and bounding my way. I know! I'm so excited for the Lyra update tomorrow. Hey there, you're here early. Of course I am. I'm the club's captain. What did you expect? Her tyranny was unparalleled. Under her draconic rule, she forced all her underlings to perform menial tasks with little in the way of instruction, merely sitting back on her comfy chairs and being hand-fed and fanned by the servants. I'm not a tyrant! That's what a tyrant would say. I'm too cute to be a tyrant. I get the feeling that if I disagree, I'll basically be giving up on life. You know me so well. 12 years practice, buddy. Saya squirms happily on her spot, cooing gently at the remark. It really has been a long while. I'm glad. 12 years ago, I was full of hopes and dreams. Then I met you, and now... well... those two things have nothing to do with each other. They don't, but I can still make any two things sound related if I phrase it right. That's manipulative. You say that because you're an only child. You have no idea... you have no idea much younger siblings get to abuse this tactic. You talk as if Aki-kun were ever the type to do that sort of thing in the first place. Guess I have to give her that much. Aki was never that big of a handful. Granted, back when we were much younger, he seemed to barely want to talk to me or spend time with me. In fact, for a while, I was sure he hated me. I don't know what happened, but around 5 or 6 years ago, he suddenly changed and became very attached to me. Either way, as an older brother, I can say there's no greater joy. On a different note, how do you feel about the regional round approaching? I'm totally ready to kick ass in it! I don't doubt it. You rarely have any noteworthy competition left in the female league here in Japan. That doesn't really mean much. The league's level has been a lot lower over the past 5 years. I hear there are a lot of really great hopefuls in the U13 level, but there's no way I'd get a chance to play against any of them anyway. Not to mention the gap in skill and experience would be huge. That too, maybe if some of them end up going pro, at least your spot as number 1 is secure. That's no fun. I wish they'd let me compete in the male league. I'm sure I'd kick ass in there too. Well, honestly, I don't doubt it. I've never seen Saya play against one of the guys, but I've watched her play in general hundreds of times over the years. It scares me just how good she is. The fact that I get way more attention than her almost feels undeserved. But then again, female leagues get less attention in most sports for some kind of reason. It's really unfair and I hate it. I can't even imagine how Saya must feel about it. Ah, there you two are. A deep voice calls from nearby, interrupting my conversation with Saya. Mikado-san, good afternoon. Sayatan, Yukun, good afternoon. The crocodile flashes us a very toothy grin, placing both hands on his sides and nodding. Hey there, Kei-kun. Are you tagging along with the coach today? He said he needed the 3 of us for something. What is it? I have some news to share. As you already know, I keep in contact with some of our alumni. I've managed to convince a couple of them to come by for a little while to help the 3 of you train again. Oh, is Kaito-kun coming over again? Is he? Coach's smile widens even more. Correct! I've been nagging them for a while, but they were giving me the runaround. This morning I finally managed to seal the deal. They'll be arriving this weekend and will train with us for 5 days. Whoa, really? Yay! Kaito-kun is coming over. That's pretty incredible. I imagine they would be really busy with practice this time of year. How did you convince them? It was hard, but I finally managed to win them over when I bribed them free plane tickets and all expenses paid for an entire week. I also already checked with the school and was given permission to use the courts over the weekend. That's amazing. I don't even know what to say. It must have cost you a fortune. I never knew Coach could be this generous. All this stuff, I can't believe he'll go out of his way like this, especially when it's being arranged so suddenly like this. Coach bellows out in a booming laugh, crossing his arms and leaning his head back while he cackles. Don't you worry about that. I just marked this as work expenses so I can deduct it from the school's budget. Oh. Never mind, I should have seen this coming. Okay, bye. Will any of the girls be coming over too? And why did you only call the 3 of us here? We had 7 players qualify for the next competition. Yes, well, the other 4 already gave up on the special training back when we had lost some players over in April. Which put me in a really awkward position with some of the alumnus that came over and just watched from the sidelines as we didn't have enough players actually playing with them. Right, I remember that. A lot of players threatened to walk out of the club entirely, saying that week of special training was far too Spartan. I think at the end of it, only about 5 of us stuck through the whole time, and the other 2 that haven't qualified. With that said, I didn't invite any of the girls this time. Only Morisaki and Sasaki will be coming back this time. Huh? How come? What about me then? You'll be training with the boys. Last time you were already showing you were adapting very well to the girls and managed to beat them pretty often. Granted, none of them were ranked quite as highly as Morisaki and Sasaki were. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad, although I will miss playing against Sheena-senpai. Yes, and there's also the fact that I couldn't quite fit any more people in the budget without administration asking too many questions, but yeah, especially the first thing. I've been keeping track of those 2 since the training week in April. It seems their ranks have also increased a bit since they were last here. Yeah, Kaito-kun took part in a challenger competition 2 weeks ago and climbed all the way to number 212. What about Sasaki-san? Wasn't he already ranked in the top 200s last time he was here? He's currently ranked 161. Huh? It's just weird to that number not change all that much. Morisaki-senpai went over 100 positions in the ranks. It seems there's a huge wall somewhere around the top 150. Getting somewhere in that position is much easier than getting past it. Hiya. So he's plateaued? It's not that bad. It's only been 2 months. If he's still gone up almost 20 positions in that time, that's pretty steady progress. I guess? I just have a hard time believing. That guy was so incredibly overwhelming to play against when he was here. It's difficult to imagine him struggling to climb the professional ladder when that's the image I have of him. Which probably just means there are way more amazing people than him out there. The thought is terrifying. Suddenly, a huge hand plops itself down on my shoulder, startling me and nearly making me jump. Okay, with that said, let's move on to the next order of business. Hang on! Shouldn't we discuss details about the guy's stay over here? When we'll practice how many times, that sort of stuff? We can leave that for later. There's something else that I need to deal with first. What's that? I have a little bit of an experiment I want to perform. A what? That sounds super dangerous. Why isn't anyone else reacting to it at all? Yuichi-kun, have you and Saiton ever played against each other? Huh? Us? Not really. How come? We play in completely different leagues, so we never thought there was a point to it. Is that a question or a statement? Coach chuckles, a high-pitched noise that almost comes out as a whistle, very different from his usual laughs. Really? So you're telling me you've never been curious about it? Not even once? I guess. I never thought about it before, I don't think. Why don't you think about it now? Wait, are you saying we should play against each other? Now? Oh, I think I get it. The crocodile places his enormous hand on top of Saya's head, flattening her ears and petting her. Very good, Saiton, but how about we let him figure it out on his own? Okay. I really don't get it. I'm supposed to play against Saya? Why? I mean, she's... Yes, she's a what? Yeah, Yoichi-kun. Go on, finish that sentence. What am I? Oh boy, things are getting a bit dangerous here. I suddenly feel like my life is being threatened. Is there any point to this? Why do you seem to think there is? There isn't. Don't get me wrong, okay? I know Sai is an amazing player. She's much more successful in her league than I am in mine. But that's the thing. The two of us are in a completely different league. We'd never compete with each other. So you don't think there's any point practicing against someone you wouldn't compete with? Well, no. Why would there be? Practice is supposed to be a way of preparing yourself for the real thing. There's never going to be a situation where I'm going to be seriously competing with a girl unless I decide to play mixed doubles. And I'm not really interested in doubles. That's too bad. I think it'd be fun if the two of us played doubles together. No thanks. I'm a solo player. Let me tell you right now, you are being far too short-sighted. Huh? Did he just insult me or something? How am I being short-sighted? Female league and male league are different. Fundamentally different. Female players don't play the same way as male players do. Playstyles are completely different. Barely anything I might learn here will be applicable to a match with other guys. So? What do you mean, so? That's my whole point by itself. Up until now, you've only selected your training partners by looking at other players you wanted to get accustomed to playing against, or ones who played similarly enough to other competitors so that they could be used as a stand-in, haven't you? Keikun looks away uncomfortably, making me suddenly feel very self-conscious and crappy about that. Yeah, I've never really been one to have training partners in the first place. Sorry, Keikun. Which is why I'm saying you're short-sighted. You only look at the immediate benefits of training with someone. Well, playing against them now, help me beat them in the future. Or well, playing against this person, help me in the future against another rival. That's how you've thought until now. I nod, knowing that these words are correct. I have no shame over it in the first place. After all, what's the point if I have nothing to gain from it? You can always learn something from your opponents if you are willing to. It doesn't matter their skill level or what league they compete in. That much is a fact. It's a fundamental truth you've never learned until now due to your own selfish nature. My what? I'm not a selfish person. Oh, is that a fact? I wonder what your friends here might think of that. Huh? Coach takes a few steps back, putting both his hands on Saya and Keisuke's shoulder, pushing them forward ever so gently towards me. Well, how do I put this? Coach is he's not exactly wrong. Huh? There's no way. I'm not selfish. I'm always trying to help my friends as best as I can. I'm not a selfish person at all. You're a really good person most of the time, even after your personality started warping a few years ago. That much never changed. My personality warped? I mean, I guess I became a bit more introverted and sarcastic over the years, but it can't be that noticeable that she could call it warped, could it? But ever since I've known you, you've always been really selfish, only when it comes to tennis. Huh? I agree. I know I haven't known you nearly as long, but I spent a long time looking up to you and wanting to play with you, and you kept refusing me until you were either forced into it or decided that you could benefit from it. But that's normal, right? Why would I go out of my way to do something like that? From the look on your face, I'm guessing it still hasn't clicked in your head. Well, it's not like that selfishness is in and of itself a problem. The problem is that it has currently placed itself in front of something you need to realize. Is there a reason why we're being all cryptic about it? Because if we just told you, you'd ignore us just like you have for the past few years. I huff, suddenly feeling very annoyed about this whole charade. I shoot K-Kun a look, trying to see what he has to say about it. Don't look at me! I have no idea what these two are trying to get at either. Coach places a hand on top of Keisuke's head, doing to him the same thing he did to Sai just a few moments earlier, smiling awkwardly at the hair. I'm sorry, Keisuke-kun. This is a lesson you've yet to learn as well. I'm afraid, and one that you might not like. What's that supposed to mean? Okay, at this point I'm both annoyed and confused. Yuichi-kun, your attitude towards tennis so far hasn't been necessarily wrong. You are right that, as a future professional, you should always be looking for ways to maximize your gains from training. The problem is your way of doing so has actually limited you heavily. Go on. I believe to a certain level, you've already begun to understand it, although not fully. When I called Morisaki and the others here a few months ago, I thought for sure that would be the push you needed. It certainly started the process off, but didn't quite work as well as I'd hoped. You people are seriously starting to annoy me by talking in circles like this. Either I'll agree with you or I won't. Making me jump through all these hoops to understand what you're saying isn't going to change anything. I want you to play against Sayatan. I believe she has a very important lesson she can teach you. One you couldn't learn if you were just told. It's something you need to experience for yourself. We're going to get fucking humbled. We're going to get humbled so hard. Fine, I'll play along with this game of yours, but I'm seriously pissed off right now. I feel like this whole thing has been nothing but an excuse to criticize me. I'm just looking out for your best interests. Funny hearing that from the lazy coach that did nothing to help me for the past 2 years. Hey, Yuichi-kun, that's not... Mikado raises a hand in the air, cutting Saya off before she can finish her sentence, suddenly staring me down with a glare that I never expected coming from him. It's enough to make me shiver. Either you'll understand it or you won't. But it's something you need to realize for yourself in order to proceed as a player. For now, a single set should be fine. Yeah, sure, whatever, let's just get this over with. Jeez, you could try not looking so unhappy about it. It's you guys' fault for pissing me off in the first place. You two warm up for a little bit and then get to the court. I'll be the umpire for the game. Sure. Ouch. You really don't look happy at all. I'm not. We're gonna leave off here tonight. We are going to get humbled so fucking hard. Seriously, we are. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow with Liar.